There are times when you deserve more than a coffee break, so make a cup of Mellow Birds. You'll find its smooth, mellow flavor turns an ordinary coffee break into a mellow moment. Mellow Birds for mellow moments.
Every day should have some.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Another Mellow Moments. Now, for those of you keeping track at home, this is the same recording session as the last one, so I'm still on the M&S Americano. It's all right. It's no Mellow Birds, but it's a decent cup of coffee. 11 minutes last time. Let's see how long it takes today. So, without further ado, let's see what's on the box.
Right, we're going to switch focus now. Time to reflect on the championship, which was won by Liverpool yesterday. The end of the marathon, which started on a similar day to today. In other words, it was hot.
Great memories of that never-to-be-forgotten night at Anfield, and great expectations as Arsenal and Manchester United provided a glittering start to the league season at Old Trafford.
Oh, 4-1.
Webb. Neil Webb with a classic volley to embroider his first league game for Manchester United.
A dream start that quickly turned into a nightmare for United and Neil Webb. United lost their inaugural shine. Webb was soon to be involved in a long and painful battle against injury. Arsenal had quickly recovered from their opening day mauling, and newly promoted Chelsea were amongst the leading pack as well, along with Merseyside's formidable double act.
Akman. Look at this break by Barnes now. The flag stays down. And the
what a goal!
By John Barnes.
That was a brilliant goal.
By early November, Aston Villa were in on the act, having narrowly missed out on relegation 6 months earlier. Everton were poised to regain the lead when the two of them met at Villa Park.
Over in the moment. Here's Collins, free. He's got Platt up alongside him. It's a goal! A great start for Aston Villa. Hounds then with one of those tantalising free kicks. Platt there first. A brilliant goal by David Platt. An astonishing performance by Aston Villa. An amazing start with 3 goals.
That big napping goal.
By the end of November, Arsenal were beginning to look the part. Inevitably, Liverpool within striking distance. And strike they did. For the big rematch at Anfield, Barnes was outfoxed by Lukic. But then he stalked his prey time and time again before moving in for the kill.
The conversation now, who's going to take it? Well, that's something Arsenal don't know. And Lukic would like to know. It's going to be Barnes.
Curled brilliantly!
Good goal.
Fabulous free kick goal.
You know what, this Liverpool team looks pretty good. He's scored to left back, I reckon.
From John Barnes.
The last match of the 80s saw 2 of the leading contenders in a furious head-to-head. Aston Villa, who'd been looking invincible at home. Arsenal, who'd been looking vulnerable away.
Villa break free from the shackles to have a corner. Daly, maybe Villa will score from it. Derek Mountfield, they have! Arsenal in a line, look at the linesman. Lukic in disbelief.
Not for the first time, Arsenal in vehement protest at what they considered to be a miscarriage of justice. In many respects, it was good riddance to the 80s. The new decade brought with it a new wave of optimism, even for a couple of old stagers who'd seen it all before. It was a good start as well.
Meantime, here's Peter Beardsley. Checked his man beautifully. Rush waiting in the middle.
That's the goal for Liverpool. Ian Rush, the scorer. Beaten by Barnes. Finds Beardsley. There could be problems here for Forest. Barnes again. Crossed in again towards Rush.
Liverpool team, I tell you. Brilliant team.
Jensen flicking it back for Parker. There's Crosby on this flank again. Just in there towards Hodge, who's in there.
And it's in there! Stevie Hodge for Nottingham Forest.
Quite right, he has made the difference, Hodge, in this second half.
Jensen backing away. He's given a penalty. Up against Grobbelaar.
Nigel Clough, that was. Son.
Liverpool started the 90s in the same position they'd occupied 10 years earlier, setting the pace and the standards. Elsewhere, it certainly wasn't the same old story. Early in the new year, Aston Villa and Southampton provided one of the First Division's showpiece affairs. And once again, Villa were the stars of the show.
They don't look good this season.
Location, Anfield, a family affair, the intense yet friendly rivalry of the Merseyside derby. But here, it was very much the same old story.
Turned to him well by Nicol. Oh, Watson can't get there. Barnes does. Liverpool have scored.
Barnes, what a season for
Liverpool
him.
here can tighten their grip. Now, Beardsley scored a penalty against Norwich by blasting the ball to the goalkeeper's left. Oh, it goes straight down the middle as Southall went out of the way.
Oh no, it's Big Nev again.
2-0.
At White Hart Lane, Aston Villa assumed pole position for the first time since their championship year of 1981. It was their 7th successive league win. Nothing to suggest they were running out of steam, but they were soon in trouble. Wimbledon, those perennial party poopers, winning so convincingly at Villa Park, there were serious reservations expressed about Villa's powers of recovery. Their trip to Coventry
Another season for Villa, though.
Silent
In the league.
skeptics.
Well, here's Coventry now with Gallagher playing it in. Ormonroyd missed the chance there.
Oh, look at them.
It's there by Drinkle.
Bottlers,
His first touch as a
absolute bottlers.
substitute. And
Couldn't go the
Coventry
distance.
go into the lead. And now here's David Smith. That's really got Coventry going. There's the shot.
Oh,
It's another
goal.
one.
Brilliant
David
goal.
Smith, 2 goals in 90 seconds, and Villa are in deep trouble.
Arsenal had been totally out of sorts, without a goal for 5.5 games. They had to beat Forest, the Littlewoods Cup finalists, to keep their season
Richardson with the
alive.
kick. Bold on the near post, often the target, and Adams running in on the edge of the penalty area. Smith was there as well. Oh! They all stood and waited, and Groves was the quickest to react, and Arsenal's goal famine is over. Adams!
Tony Adams.
Into Smith, flicked on towards Campbell. Yes! The smile of a very satisfied young man.
Graham Taylor felt Villa's challenge needed fresh impetus. Tony Cascarino cost a bundle. Villa's front players immediately under threat. Ian Ormonroyd was the first to respond.
Oh, that's a fine ball by Nielsen. Just the sort that Daly thrives on. Ormonroyd's in the middle.
Tell you what, this Villa team in 1990 were pretty good, you know.
Aston Villa have fashioned a direct attack that's left Peter Shilton sitting and reflecting.
Shilton's still playing as well. Of course he
The
was.
championship looked to be
1990
developing
World Cup.
into a head-to-head. At Old Trafford, Liverpool looked to be head and shoulders above the rest.
Finding Beardsley away on the left in a lot of space is Barnes, and he's onside.
Barnes.
United have been caught out here. Will they be punished?
Oh.
They are by John Barnes.
Tell you what, they look really good, this Liverpool team. Beardsley, Barnes, Rush.
Phelan. Oh, that's a good ball played to Russell Beardsmore. A few red shirts are up, including McClare. Oh, a fabulous save by Grobbelaar.
Ryan McClare.
Villa by 3 points, Liverpool with a bit to spare. 20 games without defeat, seemingly invincible, the outcome inevitable. Until the emergence of Tottenham sub on a Wednesday night at White Hart Lane. Torpedoes at the ready, fire one.
John Solarco, is that his name? John Solarco?
Here's Gascoigne. Stewart. Paul Stewart.
No, Paul Stewart. Paul Stewart, there we are.
1-0.
That gave Villa's young Eagles the chance to swoop. But all of a sudden, the hunters had become the hunted.
The hunter has become the hunted.
Something out of this one.
Shades of Steve Turley.
Relegation, and here's David White. Onto the right foot against the post. Peter Reid.
Unlike previous championship campaigns, Anfield hasn't been its usual intimidating self. Liverpool have been at their most destructive away from home. Sensitive to criticism, stung by the lack of respect shown by Crystal Palace. Liverpool responded typically. Ronnie Rosenthal had arrived. Penny for your thoughts? What price? Ronnie now.
Ronnie Rosenthal. He played for Israel, didn't he? He was Israeli, I seem to recall.
Aston Villa's trip to Highbury was seen as a springboard for all they hoped to achieve. Chris Price proved to be their unlikely hero.
Only Cascarino up in a claret and blue shirt, though. He's getting a bit of support from Platt. Now, this could be interesting. Platt has pulled away.
Oh,
Price has gone through for Villa.
brilliant pass.
Great chance for Villa.
Bloody what, Villa?
Chris Price.
Amidst Nottingham Forest's spring of discontent was a visit to Anfield. Ronnie Rosenthal continuing where he left off at Charlton.
Barnes. Rosenthal again.
But
Interested
Anfield isn't
in
the
seeing the
fortress
stats
of
of this
invincibility it once
Liverpool
was,
season now.
and Forest aren't really pansies. Nigel Jemson making the point and taking two.
Pansies. They're not really pansies. Those are the days, eh? There'd be complaints now to
Villa were
off.
also doing it the hard way. The fancy stuff had been and gone.
He's onside.
Oh.
Erland Johnsen made up some ground but didn't have the strength really. Tony Cascarino beaten away by Besant, followed in by Gordon Cowans, and Aston Villa have scored.
Besant
They
for
were struck at
Chelsea.
Old Trafford by a sharpshooter who earned himself the nickname Rummenigge at Lillishaw's School of Excellence. Mark Robbins with a flair for the unorthodox.
Oh.
Avoiding defeat at Highbury swung it Liverpool's way even more emphatically.
And Barnes now. Shot charge down. Rosenthal trying to get once more to that byline. Gets there. Nicol. Crossed in once more.
Nicol.
Barnes.
Barnes! I'll tell you what, John Barnes in 1990 is amazing. Amazing. I wonder how many goals he scored.
Villa with fewer points and fewer games to play. They made heavy weather of Millwall. Nothing pretty, but nothing down for them had they lost. The Manager of the Month award for Kenny Dalglish, a prelude to even greater things.
Dalglish permanently had that kind of
By
slightly
now,
long
Liverpool
on his
could
face,
only lose
didn't
it,
he?
and that doesn't happen very often.
Always kind of
Stranger things and all that,
weirdly,
most recently last
weird
season.
face on Dalglish.
But against Chelsea, they were right back on song.
Terrible defending.
Easy does it. The stuff that champions are made
Ian
of.
Rush. Hell of a team. I need to,
We're
when
right
this is
up to
over, I
date.
need to have a look
Queen's
at that
Park
team.
Rangers, always difficult to beat, especially when they're ahead. But the breaks went Liverpool's way.
Pass and moves,
at
Liverpool
home
groove.
and away.
That's a penalty.
But here goes the newly crowned Footballer of the Year, John Barnes. 2-1. That might mean the championship.
Yes.
It would have gone to an extra match at least had Villa beaten Norwich, but the goal that actually clinched it for Liverpool was scored by Robert Rosario. But that's a mere technicality.
celebration time at Anfield for a record-breaking 18th time.
18th title for Liverpool. Well deserved for Dalglish.
They get the trophy on Tuesday.
Oh. Just finishing the coffee now, so you can time it at 15:35. A bit longer than last episodes. Just while we're here, I'm going to have a look at Liverpool's 1990 stats here before. Well, we still got a bit of time on the clock. So I'm on Wikipedia having a look at their squad. They had Grobbelaar in goal. Alan Hansen was still playing. Steve Nicol, the right back. Steve Staunton, the left back. Not sure who partnered Hansen in the middle. Gary Gillespie, was it? They had a lot of centre-backs. David Burrows, I remember he broke his leg later. Midfielders John Barnes, Ray Howson, Steve McMahon, Jan Molby, he was a hell of a player. I remember him as a player-manager. Ronnie Rosenthal, Peter Beardsley, and Ian Rush. And Kenny Dalglish was actually registered as a player. He was a player-manager. Let's have a look at how they lined up. Doesn't have the stats for the season, unfortunately, but looks like Ronnie Whelan was the partner to Hansen. All right, well, let's have a look at the report on, let's say, this random match against Manchester United. They would have played their top team against United, so Grobbelaar. Yeah, it was Ronnie Whelan who played centre-back, Staunton on the left most of the time. Looks like Nicol was injured for another season. I want to know how many goals John Barnes scored that season. Let's have a look. Barnes. So we've still got a little bit of time before the 20-minute time limit. But well, let's just have a look how many goals he scored. 89-90 season, he scored 22 goals that year. Which, from midfield, that's a lot of goals for a midfielder to score. So there we go. Lots of interesting action there. Like I said before, this was a little bit before I watched football, the 89-90 season. Obviously, here on AA Mellow, it's being repeated in 91, just for the memories, But yeah, all right, well, there we go. I'll be back again tomorrow for another Mellow Moments.
There are times when you deserve more than a coffee break, so make a cup of Mellow Birds. You'll find its smooth, mellow flavor turns an ordinary coffee break into a mellow moment. Mellow Birds for mellow moments.
Every day should have some.